Welcome to Nerd Stalker, Episode 5. We speak with CTO Todd Fast of Zembly.com.
My name is Todd Fast. I'm the CTO of Zembly.com. We're the world's first Facebook development environment, as well as really all about social development or social programming. So the idea is that people building something at Zembly, you're doing with other people, and the more people do that, the better Zembly gets.
As a web developer, what do you guys have to offer? I was really impressed because you could do some really extensive sort of application almost sort of stuff. So I'm reluctant to call it a widget, but you go ahead.
Yeah, right, exactly. We started with Zembly. The idea is that we want people to build real apps, and be able to take advantage of the richness of the web, richness of the platforms that they're targeting, like Facebook and Open Social and things like that. And we came down on as it's going to require some scripting here. You're going to need to kind of, assemble this with some logic and things like that. But how can we make it really easy to do things like call Amazon or call Facebook or call Twitter or those? And so, we've made it very simple. What you're using is you're using an IDE class editor in the browser, but you're not getting all. Thanks.
That was awesome.
And it wasn't easy. So.
Yeah, I'm sure it wasn't. Yeah. I'm sure it wasn't. Glad you guys did the work.
Yeah, and it's done. So now everybody can take advantage of that. But all the other complexity that comes with kind of the development, we've tried to get rid of that as much as possible. So you're not managing deployment descriptors and hosting and trying all the publishing and everything like that. It's just it's like a wiki, but for code. And so what you do, and then when you want to call something like Amazon or Twitter, it's like a one-line function call, and you get back that data, and you're able to mash that up in any number of ways. You can mash it up with Flickr, Twitter, and all other kinds of APIs and data, and put that on Facebook and other places, or even something just as simple as just a widget that lives on a blog or something like that. So we're focused on these smaller sized applications, not the full website. It's the smaller apps that are part of other sites and other platforms.
As a web developer, it's a no-brainer. This thing is awesome, you know what I mean? And I was impressed too because typically these sorts of sites have, it's either like a really ugly type of website with all kinds of really great functionality and you can get really deep into the technology. Otherwise, it's like a really, a beautiful site where you can't do much and it's light fluff and it's really sort of high-level sort of thing. Who are you guys sort of, who is the audience?
That's a great question too. I come from a developer tools background, and trying to think of, how can we broaden, that market? Software developers is a pretty specialized thing, and they're really a very unique kind of individual for the most part. And I actually did a talk about that. It's called Applications for the Masses, why software engineers are an endangered species.
Where can we find that?
It's online. It's on my blog, toddfast.com. Yeah. And so, that talks about, that traditional software development is such a narrow kind of field. So how can we make it a bit broader? And so, we say we're age range wise, we're targeting like 13 to 30 is kind of our sweet spot, and really this casual technologist, casual developer. If you can tweak some PHP, if you can tweak some MySpace code, something like that, then you can do something. And also the idea is, because Zembly is social, you're not starting from scratch all the time. You're finding something that's cool and then tweaking it and, iterating off of other people's work and reusing. So it's getting better the more people use it.
I think these guys are... Now, were you an independent company that became acquired by Sun, or are you guys a Sun company? Are they supplying? I assume that they're supplying the infrastructure and all that. Can you talk about that and how you make money?
Yeah, right. So the first part of that is we are part of Sun. We're a project within the Sun, what we call a connected developer organization. So I'm a Sun employee, but our the website is Zembly.com, and you're there, you're doing things, that are focused on that application, on the widgets, on Facebook, and those kinds of things. Now, behind the scenes is exactly, it's a full Sun stack. And that's not just because we're Sun guys, but actually because it's a great stack to run on. So it's MySQL, it's a Glassfish app server. We're using Java. We're also using Apache and Memcache and a bunch of that other stuff. And all that's hosted in network.com, which is Sun's cloud computing infrastructure. So, the idea there is that, when you build something, you get the backing of Sun, behind it to say, hey, this is going to scale. When you want that 1 million or 10 million users, hey, we're Sun. We know a little bit about, scaling, hardware for the web. here you go. Let's make it very easy for you to take advantage of that.
Well, what I didn't see up there, though, I mean, there wasn't a lot of Java being pushed or anything like that. I mean.
Yeah, it's what you're doing at Zembly is all HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So you're not doing any Java.
Easy.
Yeah, easy. That's the idea. And actually, we're going to integrate some additional languages soon. PHP is next, then Ruby and Python.
Nice.
So you'll be able to script in the language of your choice is really the idea. But without the complication of compilation and all the other kind of deployment and all the stuff that you normally would have to worry about. Now, you also asked a question about making money. That's a great question. So. We're actually at this moment, we don't have any revenue goals. What we're trying to do is really get the platform right, make it possible for people to build these kinds of apps. Now, later on, we know that somebody's going to build those great apps and get those millions of users, and as part of that, you're going to want an SLA. You're going to want some additional features to make sure that that app keeps running, and we'll be happy to give that to you, and we want to do that for like a very nominal type of fee. And so what we're talking about is really like a pro account. So there's kind of, it's always free to develop at Zembly. That's the vision. And there are other opportunities too. When it comes to, we're not trying to put ads in your application. We're not trying to, push our stuff into yours. What we're trying to do is let you, pull that in. So we want to make it very easy for you to integrate advertising and other things like that. So if you choose to take advantage of that, then we can do a revenue share there. You keep 80%, we take 20%, but it's a one-click type of thing for you as the developer. You don't have all the headache.
So how long does it take me to create a Zembly application? What do you think? And another thing I'd like to know too is a year, 2 years down the road, what can we expect? What sort of things are coming down the pipeline?
Yeah. So as far as creating that application, so you can create a Facebook application with Zembly in 90 seconds. We walk you through a wizard that helps you set that up on Facebook, and then we give you that basic framework that's there, that then you just iterate off of, and whatever your creative idea is, you can do that. So it's very quick. In terms of, there are lots of measures we could say about how much faster it is. So for example, you mentioned, I was showing on stage access to Amazon Simple Storage Service, right? In Java, that's 134 lines of code. And a lot of knowledge about how to do that. In Zembly, it's a one-line function call. And so, we're speeding things up pretty dramatically, an order of magnitude at least. So I showed you the MyPix application, the Olympics application. That was basically done in, it's about 2.5 weeks to build that, versus, doing that in, yeah, it's got leaderboards, it's got, friends integration, profile notification, all that stuff. And so it's pretty quick. Ultimately, it's about making use of more stuff that's already out there. So when you look at something like programmable web, something like 800, 900 web APIs, just waiting to be, taken advantage of. And we want to make that just drop dead simple, just ridiculously easy to take that. We also want to make it easier and easier to target platforms like Facebook and Open Social, as well as mobile platforms. So we'll be adding additional frameworks on top of that, as well as additional tooling support. We do plan on, so today, as you saw in the private beta, what you're doing is you're doing some scripting type of coding, HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Going forward, we do plan on doing some, WYSIWYG as well, so you can do some WYSIWYG building, but also with the power of, the code behind it. Yeah, and ultimately, it's really whatever people tell us they want. That's what we're here for.
Well, Todd, thank you so much for your time. Todd's a man, and we appreciate it. Thanks so much.
Thanks, man.
All right, take care. All right.